Hello, hello. My name is WriterMaven. I am the host of the Wrestling with Receipts podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, JD, Carlito, Finn. Then I talk about Damien and Rhea too. If y'all didn't notice today was my 1 year anniversary. On my look back, I posted today. I posted my very first video talking about Dom and Liv and their possibility of them getting together. I called it since April 21st, 2004. Allow me to gloat a little bit. There's a lot of people that said that, oh, I figured out all the clues and I knew Dom and Liv was getting together. No, they didn't. They thought that Dom was going to be so devoted to Rhea. They didn't think that anything would come about Dom and Liv. I called it from the jump, and that's my claim to fame. Some people picked up on it later and then they got the accolades saying that, oh, we called it. Nah. It was only a very few people that I still talk to this day, that called Dom and Liv hooking up together. So, yeah, I'm going to gloat. I'm going to toot my own horn. So, Wrestling Receipts got its start, not in this form, but in a very infant form um, last year on this day. So, yeah, didn't know it was that long, but yeah, I knew it was happening. I knew it was coming up right after WrestleMania, but yeah, it's been a ride. I want to thank y'all all for joining me on this journey. Like I said last night, thank you all for joining me on this journey. I'm going to start, once TikTok starts popping up with stuff that I've posted, I'm going to start selecting a few that I want to post and just reposting them, showing my thought process. Because if y'all notice in that very first video that I posted, I was actually very nice about Rhea. It's amazing how a year can change things. And because I was like, yeah, I kind of like Dom and Liv, but Dom and Rhea, but Dom and Liv could, really take them off. And notice how I am now regarding Rhea. And boy, do I have something to say about Rhea when I get to her later on. But I'm going to shelve her for way to the end. Because I want to talk about Monday Night Raw and Becky Hogan. Now, according to some PWA Insider, remember, take all dirt sheets with a huge grain of salt. PW Insider and Sean Ross Sapp have a lot more credibility to them than some other dirt sheets, but still take it with a grain of salt. But PW Insider was talking about how they had this plan for Becky, just what's going on now, and how they like how things got rejected about 3 times before they came up what they came up with for Becky. And what pretty much what happened with Becky is that she didn't want to lose at WrestleMania. So not only was Bayley robbed of her shot at WrestleMania, her moment at WrestleMania, not only did Liv and Raquel lose the titles unnecessarily just so Becky wouldn't lose at WrestleMania. It was just Becky being Becky Hogan. So at this particular moment, Becky is right up there with Charlotte and Rhea as it relates to just being in the title and always having to win, because that is bullshit. Because I think Becky kind of escapes the Charlotte glare, like where people don't like Charlotte, is because Becky will put over like certain people that the masses like. So she'll put over like a Lyra, and she'll put over like a Tiffany or something like that, what people like. But then she'll do shit like this where she has to win a match, she has to do all these things, and it's just really fucked up because they could have ran this whole entire storyline at WrestleMania. Becky did not need a win. Like, why do you have to win a title just to get a win at WrestleMania only for you to turn tonight? You could have ran this whole situation yesterday. You could have had Liv and Raquel versus Lyra and Bayley, have the match, have Bayley come out, maybe Bayley accidentally on purpose hits Bayley where she's get injured, if they want to run it like that, and then Liv and Raquel get the win there, and then they can run it back the same night because maybe they make it look like Liv and Raquel did it, And then that's when Becky could turn on Lyra. But at this point, nobody, you see how she got cheered? So now Lyra is going to be in the weird position of nobody not caring for her getting beat up because Becky is just so way up here in popularity. So Lyra is just going to get the short end of the stick, and that's just fucked up too. Like, she was just starting to get some traction with the crowds, and then here comes Becky, and then all of a sudden all of a sudden now she's getting chances for one more time to hit the manhandle slam. They should have had Becky back after Royal Rumble. Becky should have, she should, after the Royal Rumble, Becky should have been back, being Laura's mentor, build up that relationship. So when they pulled the trigger on the heel turn, we would have Lyra built up, and then Becky would build up, and then you would get sympathy for Lyra. But that didn't happen. They want to rush it all at the last minute. So I feel really badly for Lyra. I feel really badly for Bayley, because they're saying like she has a dislocated shoulder and stuff like that. I was like, I know she is not injured. I know it. She's not injured. There was no point for this whole injury storyline. So so now I'm going to be feeling sorry for Lyra for having to deal with this, because Becky's going to run her over and probably win the IC championship, where that could have went to somebody else. They could have went to a Dakota Kai or somebody like that. If they weren't going to do it with Liv to be matching with Dom, then that should have went with somebody else. And then now we got Bayley that got her chance at WrestleMania taken. And then we have Liv and Raquel, who couldn't even have a moment at WrestleMania of winning. So they lost the titles only to get the back the very next night. It's just extremely fucked up. And now I have to go look at Becky really side eyes again. And right now she's just Becky Hogan. I can't give her the benefit of the doubt anymore. Becky used to get a benefit of the doubt, even though I side eyed her. Like, I really did not like, because I remember when she won the title from Bianca in like 28 seconds. I didn't like that, but I had to give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was just a Vince thing at the time, where you know how Vince always wants his thing, his moments and things like that. But now I'm just looking at it, and now I think it's just Becky. So now you got to put Becky up there with Charlotte and Rhea when it comes to winning titles or having to win all the time. And now you're messed up. And now the whole situation is messed up. But after all that, yes, Liv and Raquel are 4-time tag team champions, and it was such a lovely sight to see Dom, Liv, and Raquel with all that all that gold. So all that glitters is gold. You got Dom as an IC, you got Liv and Raquel as tag, and didn't I tell y'all yesterday that don't be so sure that Liv is going to go into a single program? Now I was thinking she might not she'd just be like around Dom, is helping Dom, but it didn't end up like that. She just is still in the tag team division, and like I said, with Hope, Insanity, who I talk with all the time on the X, like, they're going to have Liv and Raquel go around to all the shows now. So you're going to have, like, tomorrow, Liv and Raquel are going to go down to NXT. So you're going to take a popular pairing, Liv Quill, and then with Liv and with Dom, still La Familia, you're taking them. You're going to travel them to NXT. You're going to probably travel them to SmackDown, and they're going to be on Raw, and they're just going to rotate. And Dom can be a part of that. Even though he's the Intercontinental Champion, he can still rotate around with Liv and Dom. You can have Dom tag along with Liv and Raquel as needed. Like, he doesn't have to do it all the time, but he can stick around like for some major storyline points. So you can do that. But you're gonna see La Familia, Judgment Day. They're gonna probably be moving around a lot more. And since they don't do like a super hard brand split, it's gonna make more sense. You're gonna have like excuses. You're gonna have like maybe when Dom shows up on SmackDown with Liv and Raquel, you're gonna probably have Adam. You're probably gonna have like Nick Aldis say like, oh, he has permission to be over here because he's with his girlfriend, So you can do things like that. So you can have Dom, Liv, and Raquel just all running around all 3 brands. But yes, I was happy they got him back, but I am seriously, but I'm still pissed that they didn't run that storyline at WrestleMania last night. Like they could have just did that, and then we could have just been off to the races with Becky turning heel for whatever reason. But I think she's gonna get cheered, so it may not be an effective heel turn. Uh, anywho, we have the Judgment Day Clubhouse after Liv and Raquel win the titles, and you see them clink all their titles together, which was really good. I live for that moment. I was hoping that we would get Dom would have a title to match up with Liv. So now we have that all. We got Dom, Liv, and Raquel all with gold, and they're all happy about it. Finn comes in with his demented demon self, saying that what what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Peep that Dom checked out that Finn was looking at his title, and also noticed the skeleton in the background when Finn was talking to Carlito, and then because hey, because Carlito, being the truth sayer that he is, was saying like, hey, we don't have titles. Um, but peep the skeleton the skeleton behind Finn. The skeleton looked like it was waving goodbye to Finn. So it's just one of those little things that you notice in the background there. So the skeleton looked like it was going to say like waving goodbye to Finn. And then we go all the way to Dom versus Penta. And at first, I was so nervous with this match because I thought they were going to do something really crazy and have Dom lose. But as the time kind of trickled down to what was happening, like when we were getting closer to that half hour, I felt better about it because usually you wouldn't do a title change on so little time. Even though they had that whole 30 minutes afterwards, I know they had Seth and Paul Heyman to go. So I was like, okay, you still have a little, as the time winds down, then it goes in Dom's favor. So we do see, like, Finn looking like he's going to cost Dom the match, but here comes my man, JD to help Dom. And Dom pinned Penta 1, 2, 3 after the flag splash. I really loved how Dom and JD just hugged after JD got in the ring. JD had Dom's belt, kind of like how Dom had JD's like tag title belt. Y'all remember last year when JD saved not JD when Dom saved JD and the tag titles, and Dom kind of snatched that belt away from Finn to give to JD, and he was all about JD. That really just shows that Dom and JD are bros. Like Dom has superseded Finn and JD's eyes, and that's something to watch for because JD had Dom's back. He had his title. He gave it back to Dom, and they were hugging it out. And then I liked how Carlito, he was all happy for Dom too. And then Carlito was hugging it out with JD. Now, so the cutest thing kind of happened because you saw Raquel and JD really hugging it out. So I was like, okay, does Carlito have some competition when it comes to Raquel now, which is JD? Because Raquel and JD were all about the hugs. If y'all noticed, at up there at the end of the ramp there, and then you again when you at that parting shot, you saw the separation between um Dom, JD, Liv, Raquel, and Carlito, and Finn. Finn is on his own. So we still don't have the split, and I really wish they would pull the trigger, but that might just be more closer to Backlash. I know we keep pushing it. I think they just need to go on and pull their trigger. But I kind of get what they're doing here because they might want to wait till they're not in a Raw after WrestleMania crowd because these kinds of crowds are really weird. So they might be waiting until like a normal crowd to do anything like pulling the trigger on that. So I kind of get it. Like you could have seen it happen at WrestleMania, but the crowds are kind of kind of different. So It is what it is. So, so that was Judgment Day. They were kind of sprinkled throughout, but this Raw, to cover the rest of Raw, this Raw was a lot better, and it felt a lot better. I'm still not gonna say that Triple H is a savior or anything, because this is him pulling stuff out of his ass still. But we got a Rusev return and taking out Alpha Academy. Poor Alpha Academy. So we got Rusev coming back for that, looking really good. I love Rusev, so so happy to see him. And then we had a Iyo and Stephanie of the Cure match that was interrupted by Roxanne, who attacked Iyo, and then Gulia. So I guess Gulia is gonna be heel to Stephanie, and then Roxanne has that match with Stephanie tomorrow. I'm still kind of hoping she just joins Judgment Day, because we could have like another woman in Judgment Day. So I kind of want that. So I still kind of want that still. So it might happen, because I mean they're going to be down there, so we might see something there. But they were attacking. They came and attacked, and then here comes Miss Brutality. I was saying it to my group chat, like, I know that she's going to show up, and they were saying you're jinxing it. I'm like, no, she's going to shut up. I mean, she's going to show up. And what happened? She showed up. At least she didn't do like the whole like taking out everybody. Like, you couldn't do that to Julia. Like, they gotta save that. But she took out Roxanne. So I'm like, okay, Roxanne has a match tomorrow with Stephanie. Like, couldn't like Roxanne and like run off, and then she could have her stare down with Julia in the ring. And here we go again with these dream matches. They need to really be careful with all this, because a lot of the times it don't look like these dream matches are something worth looking at. The triple threat match, out from what I saw in the clips, I still haven't watched that. It looks really good, but not everything it should be like dream match material for Rhea. Like, we need to stop that. But Gulia goes, and then here comes Rhea picking up the title, and then we're gonna have that little stare down over the title between Iyo and Rhea. Is there no other women available to step up to Iyo? Like, if you're gonna shunt Liv and Raquel down to the tag team, okay, fine, but there's other women on here, and maybe that'll happen after the draft. But still, why can't another woman step up? But like, making a Roxanne coming up. Is she on Raws? Come up when she loses tomorrow. Have her challenge Iyo for a little bit. Let her have that chance. Rhea does not need to keep circling the title situation. It's just so annoying. I'm tired of it. Oh, thank you, Tupa, for following me. Hey there. Thank you for following me. But I'm just so tired of Rhea always circling the title. Nobody else could circle the title. And notice that Bianca is nowhere to be found. So I guess she's done. She's gonna get shipped back to SmackDown, and then they're gonna finally insert her back into the Naomi and Jade situation, where she should have been in the first place. So yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired of Rhea, because you know that she's gonna be around saying like nobody hurts Iyo but her. Like, what kind of aggressive shit is that? This is some toxic shit, and she still hasn't changed anything. Like, it looked like she's a lot more calmer about stuff, but still, she's still around the title. And yeah, like, it is what it is with Rhea. But I'm just saying, like, she needs to get away from the title. She needs to go to the back of the line. Let somebody else step up. And then what else did we have on here? We had Sammy return, and I think Sammy is in for a heel turn because of Karrion Kross's influence. Because you spy how he was looking at Jay before Jimmy came out. So I do think a heel turn is coming imminently. And then we had the glorious event of Gunther going after Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. I was so happy. We didn't have to hear him during the Dom match. We had Joe Tessacor which is a lot better. Even though he's a face commentator, he's a lot better. So it was just so nice to not have Pat on that call. We had Cole still. We just had Joe, just Tessacor added. And did anybody peep Corey Graves like laughing like around 5 minutes after Pat McAfee got choked out? That was hilarious. I was like, can we? People are like, can we have you back, please? Like, we need that heel commentator. If it's not Corey, we need Wade, because at least Wade and Corey would treat Dom and a lot of the other heels on there fairly. Talk them up, give them that bump that heels need. So, we need that heel commentator on Raw. But I loved how Corey was just sent a tweet that's just him laughing. But Gunther snapped. And see, that's something that Gunther needed to do. See, he had to deal with Damien's bullshit for a long time, and then Jay, and then now see how of a monster he's looking like by choking out Pat McAfee. Now I'm guessing Pat might get written out a little bit. Maybe it's close to football season and he has to exit again. So yay, I'm glad, because Pat was just getting unbearable on commentary. And then we have a new Paul Heyman guy in the form of Braun Breaker. Now, I kind of always wanted Dom to be as a part of Paul Heyman, but I get why they put Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman. He needs it. Like, he needs that personality infusion to help him along. Now, I saw some comments like, why couldn't Dom get like some, be a part, get some people like that around him instead of like JD and Carlito and stuff like that. Y'all have to remember that Dom is finally getting into mid card and upper mid card status. Like, and Dom, the way he works, he doesn't really need like additional mouthpieces for him. Like, it would be nice for him to be a Paul Heyman guy, but he doesn't really need it. Like, he has his character developed where he doesn't need it. Now, as it relates to JD and Carlito being around him, I'm thinking we're gonna get a level up with JD at least, when it relates to the group, because you want Dom to officially have that role, but you have to slowly get Dom into that role. Like, he's like, the whole point from like last year to now is to slowly move him up into that role where it wasn't like he was hiding behind Rhea and things like that. You can't just flip a switch on Dom like that. It would be nice. I really would appreciate it, but you can't do it. You have to do it kind of slow. And he's getting there. Like, I'm pretty sure when they finally pull the trigger on Finn and Dom, then we'll see that more of an edgier Dom. But they want to be careful with it because of how the crowd react to him. Like, you can't do too much. And then you still need like some people to take pins. Like, if you're in a part of that group, who's gonna be taking pins in that group with Paul Heyman? You got Seth, and then you got Braun Breaker. Who's gonna take a pin? You need like Dom needs somebody to occasionally take a hit and to take a pin for him. Still, he's a tweener. He's not face yet. Yeah, he gets cheered, but this is Raw after WrestleMania. He's gonna get cheered. Now, when we go to some of these other crowds, we'll see if that carries along. Like, if we get to the like another city and he's like booed out the building, then we know where Dom is gonna be right there. So we have, so Dom still needs somebody to take a hit, and we still need somebody to be around him. Who else would you put around Dom anyway? I mean, you got Rusev, but I think they want Rusev on his own. And you want to have you probably want to have Rusev like around main event, circling around main event, so you can have challengers for Jay. And I don't know who else you could throw around Dom. Like I said, you could throw in OTM, the tag team, or you could throw in Tony D'Angelo. Like, those are characters that I would see that could fit around Dom and Dom's aesthetic. But right now, anybody else, they go into different places. But we had Braun taking, spearing Roman, and then CM Punk, and maybe CM Punk and Roman are gonna, kiss and make up, and then try to go against all these Paul Heyman guys or something like that. I don't know. And then, oh yeah, and then Randy did take out Cena because I was ignoring that whole speech Cena was doing until I saw Randy show up. So they're gonna run back the whole Cena versus Randy Orton match again, which is cool. I know probably Randy Orton's gonna probably lose, but it's cool. But I had to ignore it. I'm like, I don't care about like I'm not here to see a black screen and like you emoting through this whatever heel turn it is. I'm really not impressed with John Cena's heel turn. So, he can uh what was I saying? Like he can take that somewhere else. Like I'm not really impressed with the heel turn. And somebody, I think it was who was that said like Ariel Hawari said like Cena's heel turn is like feeling flat, and I had to agree with it because it's like it feels flat. It doesn't feel like he's putting in the energy to be a heel. Like I know if you had Dom in that position, or if you had a Seth in that position, or something like that, you could feel their character work through their heel work. It seems. Oh, they said that Cena is like acting a heel turn, and I agree with that. It doesn't feel like good character work. Like with Dom, he's a heel. With Seth right now, he's a heel. With Braun Breaker, he's a heel. With Rusev, they're heels. With Cena, it's like he's play acting, and I just can't get into it. But that was Raw. This was a good Raw. It felt a lot better than the Raw and SmackDown leading into Raw. We will see Liv and Raquel tomorrow on NXT. Do y'all want me to come online and to give an opinion on that for NXT? I might do that just to see what else could happen potentially there with Roxanne and anything else, whoever shows up for NXT. So I might come online, watch for that. Might be a little impromptu, and so we'll have them tomorrow. The gang is all back together. Finn is looking like more and more on the outside looking in. And I was just really happy to see JD back and hugging Dom. Yeah, they're so bros, and I'm happy for JD and Dom getting back together because it was gonna really hurt me if JD sided with Finn, and he might still, but right now, like I didn't want that to go against Dom because they really are brothers. Like you can see it with them. So I'm really happy that JD reunited with his brother Dom. And I'm really glad that Dom had his first successful title defense. And I am really happy that Liv and Raquel got their titles. And hopefully next week maybe we get a title celebration. I want mariachi bands. I know they did that for El Grande Americano, but I want a mariachi band. I need a mariachi band for Dom. I need that band to serenade Liv. Somebody said that he kind of hinted at a proposal for Liv at his signing today. I think I shared it on the X. So if y'all want to look through some of my recent reposts, I think he kind of hinted at a proposal for Liv. So maybe that's coming sooner rather than later. Thanks for tuning in to the Wrestling Receipts podcast. Remember to follow me on the X at WMaven WWE and on TikTok at WriterMaven for more wrestling insights and live reactions every Monday night after Raw. Until next time, I'm just saying.